So I basically got an extra 10,000 British pounds on top of
Hmm.
my basic in my current workplace.
I know you're not able to share like the total salary package and stuff like that. Okay, we know you made 10K GBP more as a base, better commission package. What would be your projected earnings in a percentage versus what you've done currently?
I will be extremely happy if I can get an extra 15K on top of my basic salary, and that will put me in a good position. Well, I had the chance to speak with many companies, and some of those one are big names in the marketplace. One of the first opportunity was with Revolut, but then I also managed to talk with Amazon, Salesforce, that is also fairly recent,
Hmm.
Snowflake, that is another
Hmm.
one. So all big tech names, let's say,
Hmm.
amongst also many others.
All right, brother. Okay, so Davide, welcome. Good to have you, buddy. Like some really cool news coming out from your side, landing a new offer, a new role, increased salary. So I wanted to dive into that with you today. So welcome, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
Cool, man. So first of all, Davide, like maybe you can give us an overview, like who are you? Like who's Davide? Like what do you do?
Yeah, well, as my accent suggests, I'm originally from Italy, and I moved to London in the UK back in 2013.
Hmm.
So I've been kind of been living and working in and around London for what 11 years.
Hmm.
And in 2016, I decided to make a career change, and I basically start to work in sales. I've been doing quite a few sales role in the past few years. I started in the automotive sector, so the classic car salesman,
Hmm.
selling new and used vehicle. Then I moved into retail, but then unfortunately COVID came and kind of ruined my plans from the standpoint of view.
Hmm.
I had a short window of time where I tried to go back into the automotive sector, but I was looking for more. And then is basically when I decided to switch into the business to business arena, working predominantly for small, medium-sized tech companies as a SDR, BDR. So
Hmm.
responsible of doing the business development, try to bring a new opportunity, new leads into the business.
Gotcha.
And this is basically what I've been doing so far.
All right, cool. Gotcha. Good. A lot of sales experience. I love it. Now, how did we meet each other? Like, did we know each other prior to you joining?
No, no, we didn't know each other. I still remember, I believe I came across one of your ads or story through Instagram,
Hmm.
and your message kind of resonated with me because through the course of the years, I also try to perhaps doing alternative things outside of my day-to-day work. So I try to get to have a look into high ticket closing, and I always been trying to get better at sales. And what you say kind of resonate the fact that people nowadays they kind of glorify the entrepreneurial spirit, quit your job, start your business, become a multimillionaire in a few months or in a year, but the reality of things is quite different, and
Hmm.
it's not an easy task to go out and do something by yourself. And there are also great opportunity if you want to keep working to earn great money,
Hmm.
with all the benefits and the protection that you get from working with someone basically. And yeah, so kind of that message resonate with me, and it sparked to in me the curiosity to know more, and that is basically when I enter in contact with you and your university.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, that's the point, right? Like, because you don't need to quit your job. Like, there's no point of just quitting and throwing everything out the window. Like, you've worked so hard already to get to the point that you're at. It's more about like the rebrand and like the strategic outlook to essentially get into better paying positions, right?
Yeah,
And as soon as you have an offer, which I want to go into a little bit later on, that's when you switch, right? So you
yeah,
don't want to lose income to pursue other activities, right?
yeah.
Um, what happened for you? Like, so what happened for you in the mastermind?
Yeah, well, it was a good experience overall, I have to say. The community is great. I really enjoy interact with some of the members because you have the possibility, obviously, to interact with everyone involved. So I like the community aspect to kind of share wins and have the opportunity as well to practice and role play
Hmm.
with the other members.
Hmm.
And there was also obviously weekly calls with you and some of your collaborators, which are all very experienced sales professional. So that was also another things which is very great. You can pretty much work with you almost one to one in certain
Hmm.
cases, and
Yeah.
not many courses or platform out there allows you to do that.
Hmm.
The possibility to exchange feedback quickly and get an answer almost straight away as well. That is something that I really appreciated. And then obviously you have the content of the university. So there are some great teachings there with practical step on how to apply it
Hmm.
in your life. So it's not rocket science, obviously, but it's all craft and put in place in a very thoughtful manner, I say.
Oh, nice, man. I mean, yeah, you talked about, working directly with the team, right? I remember when it kind of started kicking off for you, getting, headhunted by all the recruiters. You and
Yeah,
I would sit down often together and go over entire interview preps, which was fun. So you felt like the support was good?
yeah. The support was definitely good. Yourself or your collaborators were always there to
Hmm.
ready to answer any question I might have.
Love it. And so let's talk about a little bit. So you came in, right? You upskilled. We worked on the skills. We did some rebranding. Um, and then it kind of got crazy a little bit for you on the market. Can you give me an idea of like some of the companies that you were interviewing for
Yeah,
during this
yeah,
process?
yeah, absolutely. Well, I had the chance to spoke with many companies, and some of those one are big names in the marketplace. One of the first opportunity was with Revolut.
Hmm.
I almost got the job. Unfortunately, I didn't get it just at the last step.
Okay.
But then I also managed to talk with Amazon, Salesforce, that is also fairly recent,
Hmm.
Snowflake, that is another
Hmm.
one. So all big tech names, let's say,
Hmm.
amongst also many others.
Hmm. Love it. So big brands, right? Like big
Yeah,
business, different than automotive sales or retail. Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Cool, man. And like, okay, I mean, so you had a bunch of interviews and you got really close. I remember us going back and forth about, the final rounds and stuff like that. Unfortunately didn't land on all of them, right? But that's normal, right? A part of this process is also learning how to interview better and
Yeah,
get more.
yeah. There's a lot to say from the standpoint of view. The fact is, the market here in the UK is really competitive. I'm
Hmm.
in London. There are like 9 million people here,
Hmm.
so it's very tough out there. And to be frankly honest with you, outside of Revolut, I almost got closed to get two other jobs last year, but
Hmm.
for reason that kind of are outside of my control, I didn't get it. I almost got a job with Shopify, and actually, they
Yeah.
say to me that if there's a new role coming through that fit kind of requirement, I can literally talk with the HR lady I
Hmm.
talked to, and they can basically put me through straight away because I basically pass all their interview stages.
Hmm.
And also had opportunity to work with another company that worked very closely with Microsoft. They decided to go with someone with a considerably higher experience also in closing.
Hmm.
But I make a great impression with the
Yeah.
interviewer. So that is still positive, despite
Hmm.
the fact that I didn't land the opportunities. And you need to be really patient and keep swinging the plate out there.
100%. And that kind of stuff compounds, right?
Yeah.
The fact that went to all these interview stages, you met a lot of key people at key companies. As soon as like jobs start opening up, you can reach out and
Yep.
quickly go to the hiring manager. That's the benefit of dealing with hiring managers, right? You can actually extend your network. I'll give you an example. Like when I got my job at Louis Vuitton, I actually wasn't the first hire. They hired somebody else, but
Hmm.
I was like on top of it the whole time. And that person didn't work out pretty quickly, and
Okay.
then I
Yeah.
landed the job, right? So that's the point, and I love that, and it keep doing that, keep building those, let's say, you know, your network and your contacts, because you never know when opportunities come.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we have big companies, we're going in the final round, we're just not quite getting there. And now you have a new role. So
Yeah.
can you give us a little bit of idea of what that looks like?
Yeah. So it's a business development manager role. So I'm gonna be back into closing and let's say interact with people face to face as well. Is not a big company, but is a well-run small company that has been
Mm-hmm.
acquired by a major player in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have much more funding, much more liquidity to expand their business. Yeah, the great thing for me, outside obviously of the increase of basic salary, the opportunity to earn more with a better package in terms of commission, is the fact that I'm gonna be working very closely with one of the founders. This founder kind of did the sales since the beginning of the organization, but because they have more liquidity now, is looking to exit a little bit from that role and focus on growing the business on other areas. So he was looking for someone to take over his kind of position from the standpoint of view. And because it's a very niche industry, is very relationship based. So that is mean that the way they usually conduct business is through events and conference. So they often go to these events, they have booth space. And my job is going to be basically as well going to this conference. The majority of partners is going to be here in London. They have also a few abroad, one also in south of France in a beautiful area. So I'm looking forward for that. But I'm gonna go for work. So yeah, my job will basically be the face of the company, the first person new customer interact with, and my job is gonna basically be to help put the signature on the piece of paper, and yeah, I'm gonna basically get paid commission for every new signature, for any new cash that is gonna land into the company.
Love it. Love it. So there's lots of exposure. You can actually build relationships with clients, whereas if you look at like high ticket clothing, it's just like your client comes in, they're gone, you don't speak to them again, right? But here you can actually build a book of clients, which you can take with you, right, to other opportunities eventually. But you said you're going to be traveling, right? It's remote though, your job.
Yeah. The job is completely remote because I'm basically their first official hire here in the UK. They don't have a physical office here in London or in the UK per se. The company is Irish. They are based in Dublin. So I'm going to be required occasionally to travel there just to meet the team and perhaps get on board there or get trained on new things. And then the other party is basically traveling to this conference. But again, the majority of them are all based here in London, and is also where the majority of their clients are. So it's gonna make life easier for me. And occasionally there's some other conference. There's one in France, as I mentioned prior, and a few other one still here in the UK, but not in London. But I think it's gonna be a good experience from the standpoint of view.
Yeah, I love it. So let's go into detail, because people that are watching this are probably wondering, like, what was the result? Yeah. In terms of base salary, you said it increased, correct? What was it? How much did it increase by your base?
So I basically got an extra 10,000 British pounds on top of my basic in my current workplace. That is kind of something that we kind of negotiated a bit, because this opportunity got presented to me through a recruiter. So the recruiter didn't work exactly for the company, but the recruiter literally talked to me often, and she was also very good. There are not as many good recruiters out there as you might think, but she was very empathetic, very patient. She really cared about myself in finding the best opportunity. So she initially told to them, he's going to be happy with a 5,000 increase. But then I said to her, not really, be happy with a 10,000. And they agree.
Love it.
And agree to that. But yeah, that is great. But also the commission package is better. And obviously being in a position where I can closed and be responsible for that part, I think it can make a huge difference as well in my pocket at the end of the day. And it's all negotiable because once we discuss it with the owner and with the recruiter, this is kind of a new role for them. So everything still need to be defined and tweaked accordingly. So depending how things are gonna move in the future, they might gonna space to renegotiate the commission package and the salary. So it's just a question for me to start the work and see how things are gonna pan out.
Keep going upwards and upwards. I love that. A lot of people don't do that negotiating in the end, right? And that's what we talk about a lot here. You know, when you get to that final stage when an offer is made, they've already gone through the entire interview process with like many candidates, right? So for them to choose a candidate and not solidify that candidate as somebody who's going to come work is actually negative for them, right? It's a net negative. So when you go there at the end and you know that you got the offer, it is absolutely necessary to do exactly what you did, Davide, and say, no, not 5, 10K. Because that's 10K in perpetuity, right? That's if over the next 3-4 years, that's $40,000 extra that you will make just from having that discussion.
Yeah.
Right. That's the power of this, right? Is to get through the interview process, get the offer ones if you can, but even when you get an offer, to do exactly what you did. So well done. Well done.
Yeah.
So I know you're not able to share like the fee and like the total salary package and stuff like that. Okay. We know you made 10K GBP more as a base, better commission package. What would be your projected earnings in a percentage versus what you've done currently?
A good question. Well, that is something I have to discover myself. But obviously, in the first year, they don't also have bringing in tons and tons of business because I'm gonna have to have a ramp up process, learning the company, learning the solution, learning how things operate at those conferences. So there's going to be a process I'm gonna have to go through in order to ramp up and get better with things. So I think in the first year, my personal projection, which is just, I will be extremely happy if I can get an extra 15K on top of my basic salary, and that will put me in a good position overall.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, an extra 1,000 GBP a month does wonders.
Yeah,
that's great. I love that. So I know you're busy and you got to get back to work and stuff like that, but maybe just for anybody, watching this who's, maybe interested or even hesitant to hop on a call with me and the team, what would you say to them?
Well, if you're really motivated and you're really happy with sales, or is something that you're considering doing it, start learning with the intent to perhaps land your first sales job, I would say to do it. There's a great team, great support. Everyone is very good at sales here, obviously. They're very professional and they obtain great results. So you need to be looked after very nicely, and you're going to be able to feed up from the experience of the people involved and also from the community itself. So I would say that if you are someone that is considering landing into sales for the first time, is something that is almost necessary to do, because it's going to give a sense of how things work in the world and give you great knowledge on how to navigate the market. But also, I would say, for a seasoned professional, if you are successful in sales, you can afford to never stop learning. So there's always new things that you can learn and you can enrich your knowledge with. So I will also recommend that if someone is already been in sales for in year.
Love it. Thanks a lot. Well, I really appreciate your time, Davide, and looking forward to staying close on everything and see where you take this.
Yeah.
Have a great day, buddy. Thanks.
You too. Bye-bye.